Our Will Puckett is in Wears Valley. He's been there overnight. Our Evacuations is in Gatlinburg, where a fire sparked overnight. It is out this morning, though. We do want to get to our Will Puckett with the latest there from the Wears Valley fire. And Will, what are you seeing this morning?
Well, Casey, what we're seeing this morning is a complete change from what we saw last night. Almost fires, just embers burning at this moment. Fire crews starting to spread out their resources to tamp down anything that's left. Again, a complete change from just really 2-3 hours ago, and a major change from roughly 12 hours ago. Crews have been fighting all night, working to save any and all structures that they can. This video you're seeing now is from earlier on Wednesday night into late or early Thursday morning. Fire crews just again working to save people's livelihoods. We talked with Sevier County Mayor Larry Waters earlier yesterday, roughly around 4 o'clock in the afternoon. He said that the situation here in Sevier County was very, very similar to 2016. And that's often what you see along here is when fires break out, people's minds jump to 2016. But after those wildfires, individuals along here say they're not playing around when they get the warning to leave.
But they wouldn't move, they just gawking. It's like getting in a bear jam. They opened the doors and they hogged the roads and you just couldn't literally get out. But after the Gatlinburg fire, you don't mess around, you get out. When they tell you to get out,
when they tell you to get out, you get out. And that's what all Sevier County officials were saying, is that the second that you get a notification on your phone to evacuate, especially with how dangerous this fire was moving into late Wednesday night in the early morning hours of this morning, get to a safe area. Again, nightfall was the godsend almost for fire crews. They said that while the winds would continue into this morning, they said that humidity levels would increase by their hopes, and a little bit of this rainfall that's starting to fall would help this fire out. And so far from what we're seeing, it has. Again, a noticeable change from just 2 to 3 hours ago, Casey and Harry, but still fire crews very much active. The Forestry Service plans to be back out at 8 o'clock this morning to start getting back up into the mountain, drawing fire lines, getting rid of anything that has been burned, and getting ahead of what they hope is a more contained fire. And even still at last check, 1,000 acres, at least 35 buildings burned to the ground, and 0% contained. But you have to think at our next update, which is expected about 10 o'clock this morning, things will be much better compared to where they were at 10 o'clock last night.
And Will, we do have the map on our WVLT News app of where that evacuation zone is. Have you seen very many people evacuating overnight compared to later in the afternoon yesterday when they issued a lot of those orders? Can you tell if most people have left that area?
Yeah, I think most people have left this area. You had 1 or 2 folks who came up to sort of the staging area, which is probably a quarter to half a mile from where we stand right now, up back this way. They came, one individual asked, I live here, do I need to evacuate? We sent them to that map to let them know sort of where they need to go. But other folks just kind of wanting to get an idea, making sure that their friends and their neighbors were safe. And again, individuals around here dreading daybreak because they'll be able to see the devastation that this wildfire has left behind. But again, individuals, many of them heeding those warnings to get out while they could.
All right, our Will Puckett reporting for us this morning. Glad to hear some improvements there. We appreciate it. And those mandatory evacuations in Gatlinburg were just lifted less than probably half an hour ago for the Hidden Hills O&B Circle area. This brush fire sparked just after midnight. We're hearing it is extinguished.
Yeah, Abby Kasoris joins us live outside of the Gatlinburg Convention Center this morning. One of the places where people were told to go. Abby, what's the scene there where you are?
Yeah, it's quiet out here now, and this evacuation center is pretty much empty. Families flooding out of those doors after receiving the news that they could go back home. They were wearing their pajamas and carrying backpacks after they received those mandatory evacuation orders just around midnight. About 60 people here at the Gatlinburg Convention Center, another 60 at the American Legion as well. Seth Butler with the city of Gatlinburg says that they were preparing for these increased fire risks throughout this week. can even hear some of the winds out here. That was a part of those increased risks as well. He says that crews were prepared. They were sending out red notifications, iPause alerts, issuing sirens, and posting to social media to get people that they know to evacuate immediately.
I think that's the most important thing. Folks heeded the evacuation. Folks arrived here at the shelters, and we have them, safely here for the night.
And he feels like sending out those notifications that it was a success here today, that fire is out, no structures were damaged, and no loss of life here. The kids bringing out their teddy bears, the parents just smiling, quickly getting to their cars after receiving that news. We hope that they can get back home, get in their beds, and hopefully get some rest. Harry and Casey.
All right, our Abby Castoris live for us in the Gatlinburg area. Abby, thank you. Stay safe out there. We'll talk to you shortly.
So those evacuations in Gatlinburg are lifted, but the evacuations in the Wears Valley area are still active this morning. This is an interactive map, though you can type in an address, see if that property is within the evacuation zone. You can also access this in the As Seen On section of the WVLT News app. And we do want to get to our chief meteorologist, Heather Haley. I know people have been asking for rain, and it appears that it is kind of helping in that situation. I know you're tracking that for us this morning.
Yeah, I'm sure maybe not as much or as much rainfall really as they would like, but in this case, yes, absolutely, between the humidity going up as well